Hi everyone, I'm coming in front of you with a new video, and there's something very important that I need to discuss with you, and that is the problem of visa overstay. Now, what is a visa overstay? An overstay is when a non-immigrant, so a foreign national, when a foreign national lawfully enters the United States after getting a visa, but then remains in the United States beyond the authorized period of admission, that's considered a visa overstay. So an individual who is coming into the United States on a visa, and the visa will notify the person for how long that individual can stay in the United States, maybe a month. And if that individual stays in the US for longer than a month, that's considered an overstay, because that would mean that the individual has exceeded, the stay has exceeded the authorized period of admission. Now, United States Customs and Border Protection, CBP, identifies that there are two types of overstays. The first one is when individuals enter the United States lawfully after getting a visa, and their length of the length of time that they are supposed to stay here, that passes, and there's no record of their departure. That's considered a suspected in-country overstay. So once again, let me explain with an example. A foreign national gets a visa for 30 days, comes to the US, and 100 days goes by. 100 days go by, and there's no record of that individual's departure. But the visa was for 30 days, but 100 days go by, there's no record of that person's departure. That is called a suspected in-country overstay, which means that the individual is probably still in the United States, has not left, and is overstaying the visa. The second kind of overstay is when individuals do depart, but they do so after overstaying the visa. So using the same example, a foreign national gets a visa for 30 days, but comes into the United States, but leaves the US, departs from the US after 100 days, after staying here for 100 days. But the authorized period of admission was 30 days. But the foreign national departs from the US after 100 days. So the individual is still departing from the US, but only after staying for longer than the authorized period of admission. Now that's called an out-of-country overstay. So there's suspected in-country overstay, and then there's out-of-country overstay. These are the two different kinds of overstay. Now, in fiscal year 2022, the total visa overstay rate was 3.67%. Fiscal year 2022, the total visa overstay rate was 3.67%. Now, 3.67% sounds like a small percent, right? Do you know how many overstay events that is? How many overstay events, the total number in fiscal year 2022? Let me give you that number, and you are going to be shocked. In fiscal year 2022, the number of overstay events, it is 853,995. 853,995 overstay events in fiscal year 2022. Out of that total number, 795,167 were suspected in-country overstays. Once again, the number is 795,167. That's suspected in-country overstays. Once again, what's a suspected in-country overstay? When a foreign national comes into the US with a visa and stays beyond the authorized period of admission, so if the visa is for 30 days, the individual stays for longer than 30 days, and there's no record of that individual departing from the US, meaning that person is probably still in the US. That's a suspected in-country overstay. And in fiscal year 2022, let me repeat the number, suspected in-country overstay was how much? How many? 795,167. So almost 800,000. That is a serious problem. That is a serious problem. That's how many people in fiscal year 2022 overstayed their visa, and there was no record of them departing. Suspected in-country overstay. I have been talking about the problem of visa overstay for quite a while now, okay? For years now, actually. This is not the first time that I'm talking about this issue. In March of 2018, I wrote a blog post, and the title of the blog post is The Severe Problem of Visa Overstay. That same year, in August, I wrote another blog post, and the title of that blog post is Visa Overstay, the Problem Continues. I wrote one blog post in March of 2018, and then the second blog post in August of 2018, and both talk about visa overstays and how big of a problem this is. So if you go to my website, tossifanam.net, you can check out both the blog posts as well as all the other blog posts that I have. So that shows that I've been talking about this issue for a long time. And it's not something that you hear about much in the news. But visa overstay is a real problem. Those who get a visa, so when an individual gets a visa to come to the US, that individual is arriving here legally. That individual is entering the United States legally. But as soon as the visa expires and the individual is still in the US, then that becomes a legal problem. No one should violate the terms of the visa. And sadly, a lot of people are overstaying, as I have mentioned, and that's why it's such a big problem. And so the reason I'm talking about this in this video is to raise awareness. We talk about the crisis at the southern border a lot. You hear about it in the news a lot, and if you've been following my YouTube channel, then you know that I have been talking a lot in the last several months. I've been talking a lot about the southern border and the border crisis. I've been talking about the sanctuary cities and all the different problems that are taking place, particularly in places like New York and Chicago and California. But we must also talk about the problem of visa overstay, because it is a huge issue, as you now know from the numbers, from the data that I have presented. So my friends, share with me your thoughts. Go to my website, tossifanam.net, send me a message. You can also find me on social media. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. So you can connect with me on social media. Let me know your comments, share with me your viewpoints. I look forward to hearing from you. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel and keep watching my videos. And once again, share with me your thoughts. I hope to be back again soon with a new video. Thank you.